What's going on, YouTube? Legions Gaming here, and today we're going to be talking about some the best upcoming gacha games coming out in 2023. Now, I know it's already 2023 as I'm uploading this / recording this, but the holidays have been crazy busy for me. I had to work on a lot of other projects, a lot of other YouTube videos. I have a new YouTube channel I'm working on, so apologies that this didn't come out when I wanted it to. I originally wanted this to come out a week or two before the end of the year, but that being said, a lot of these games have either unannounced release dates, just aiming for like summer 2023 or 2023 in general, or spring 2023. So a lot of these games, except for maybe one or two on this list, are not coming out anytime soon. Just sometime this year, or some of them are early and some of them are just unannounced. But they are aiming for 2023. So this is all the games that we know of so far that are going to be coming out in 2023. This is not in any order whatsoever. I'm not doing like how I did my top 15 JRPGs, anticipated JRPGs of 2023. I'm just doing an overall like best gachas coming this year. There's no like favorite one. There's a couple on there, but you guys will know when I get to it, like, oh, I'm really excited for this one. But as of right now, this is not a top 15 or top 20 gachas coming. It's just best ones that are coming this year. So leave your thoughts in the comment section down below on which ones you're most excited for, and I'll let you guys know at the end of the video which ones I'm also most excited for as well. So without further ado, let's get right on into this video and let you guys know what are the best gacha games coming out in 2023. First one we'll talk about, since it's releasing very soon, January 5th to be exact, is Eversoul. Eversoul is a mobile RPG based on an apocalyptic and medieval fantasy world, where players can enjoy great 3D animation, collecting and nurturing beautiful elven characters. The combat is an auto battler with skills that you can use once they are not on cooldown or if the conditions for the battle have been met. The animations for the ultimates and other skills are very beautifully animated as well. I don't know if I'll be sticking with this one long term, but I will definitely be trying it out on release, and if I enjoy it enough, then I will definitely keep playing and maybe even possibly make content on it on the channel. Next up, we have Arknights Enfield. I am actually pretty excited for this game, as someone who used to play the original Arknights a lot on release, even more so after watching the anime for the game these past few months. Arknights Enfield is an upcoming real-time 3D RPG and a spin-off entry in the Arknights franchise that is currently in development by Hypergriff. While the game inherits the worldview of Arknights, it has its own storylines and distinct characters. We have yet to see any concrete gameplay yet besides the characters traversing the world, so a lot of people will think that it's similar to Genshin, as it does seem to give off the same vibes as Genshin. Arknights Enfield is set to be released worldwide on PC and Android iOS in 2023, with no official release date at this time. Man, Honkai Star Rail is probably one of my most anticipated mobile games coming in 2023. Not only do I love Honkai III, but after playing in 2 closed beta tests for this game, I can honestly say it's one of the best gacha games that I have played in a long time. I'm not allowed to talk much about the closed beta test, but what I can say is that the story and characters are phenomenal, and if you're a fan of turn-based RPGs, then you're definitely going to love the combat in this game. Honkai Star Rail is an upcoming free-to-play 3D tactical turn-based RPG developed and published by Hoyoverse, which are the developers of other popular mobile games like Genshin Impact, Honkai III, and the other games set to release Zenless Zone Zero, which we'll talk about shortly. Honkai Star Rail is the 4th installment in the Honkai series, and it brings in brand new characters along with alternate versions of existing characters from Honkai Impact III. There's no official release date yet, but from my inside knowledge and experience with game development, the fact that it's already had 3 closed beta tests that felt very, very close to a finished product, I would say that you can expect to see this game coming out in the first half of 2023. My speculation is that the game will release around March or April. Next up, we have Zenless Zone Zero, which, as mentioned previously, is another game being developed by Hoyoverse, the creators of Genshin Impact. I also got to play in the closed beta test for Zenless Zone Zero, and I was blown away by how great the combat and quality of the animations and graphics were. This also felt like it was ready for release. That's how polished it felt while playing in the closed beta test. I really love the world's future punk aesthetic and characters, especially the character designs. Zenless Zone Zero is an upcoming urban fantasy action role-playing game that plays similar to Genshin with kind of a Devil May Cry combat hybrid. Zenless Zone Zero is expected for release on PC, iOS, Android, and more, which means that there is a plan for console release in the future, which makes perfect sense considering that Genshin Impact is also available on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. This is another game that I'm highly anticipating on this list. Wuthering Waves is made by the developers of Punishing Gray Raven, which I spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours playing and making content on for this channel. I did somewhat grow out of making content and playing Punishing Gray Raven, but it had nothing to do with the combat or story of the game, but more of the way that they handled the monetization of the game at the start, especially with some of the game's skins for characters. So I hope that they don't make the same mistakes with Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves is a game that features open-world exploration much like Genshin Impact, with rich and diverse narrative storytelling that can get a bit dark sometimes. If you've played Punishing Gray Raven or seen its combat, it's very similar to it, with a lot of tweaks and adjustments to make the combat feel even more deep and intuitive than its predecessor. They have already had a technical test and closed beta, but I unfortunately was not able to get into either. But from what I have seen from friends and fellow content creators that have played it or have made videos on it already, it's looking very good and quite possibly the most anticipated mobile game of 2023. Let's just hope that it doesn't make the same mistakes that Genshin did and that there is fun co-op content and a nice endgame loop. Next up, we have Aether Gazer. If you guys have been following me for a while, then you may have watched me stream the closed beta test for this game quite a few times on my YouTube channel or over on Twitch. I absolutely could not get enough of this game. It is extremely similar to Punishing Gray Raven, but the combat is better to me in almost every possible way. The animations are very fluid and the game is very visually stunning. The best part about it is that pretty much the entire game, especially the main story, is completely voice acted with some gorgeous anime-styled CGI cutscenes for the story. I mean, just look at how beautiful these cutscenes look. Aether Gazer was supposed to come out in 2022, but they decided to push the game back because they are adding a lot of quality of life features to the game and dubbing the entire game with English voice acting for the global release, which I appreciate so much because they did not need to do that. They're also going to have German and French available as dubbed languages at launch. They could have just had English subtitles and it would be fine, but they went above and beyond to make the global launch even better, and to be honest, this is going to make watching the story and cutscenes so much easier. I tend to normally skip the story in gachas if there is no English voice acting, so this is going to make my experience much better. Aether Gazer is an upcoming action RPG, and the game has been developed by Yosar Games and is set in a dystopian sci-fi universe. I've gotten pretty close with the devs for Aether Gazer as well, and I can safely say that they are aiming to launch the game in the first half of 2023. But other than that, I can't say much more. Look forward to lots of content on Aether Gazer on my channel this year once it releases. Next up, we have Reverse 1999. Now, I haven't seen too much of this game to get me too excited, but what I have seen from my good friend Chaotic's channel has got me a little excited. Reverse 1999 is an RPG and a gacha card game by Bluepock. The game's combat focuses on card battle combat, a little similar it seems to Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross. The game will make you explore a new world with so many characters and an adventure to follow up. I have heard from many that the story is excellent for this game, so if you love a game with a great story and unique art style, definitely be on the lookout for Reverse 1999 when it launches. I don't have much else info on Reverse 1999 besides that, but if you do want to know more about the game, be sure to check out my friend Chaotic on YouTube, as he has been covering this game quite a bit now and will be doing so on launch. I'll leave his YouTube channel linked in the description box down below. No official release date yet except for a 2023 release. My lord, has this game been delayed into oblivion. If you've been subbed to the channel for a while, then you know I have made so many videos on this game already since the reveal of its first trailer. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is an upcoming turn-based mobile JRPG developed by Applebot, which are the developers by another Square Enix mobile game, Nier Reincarnation. It's currently set to release for Android and iOS with no mention at all of a console or PC port. Ever Crisis will be covering the entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII. It first got announced immediately after a Sony State of Play on February 25th, 2021. Since that date though, Square Enix pretty much went radio silent. We have barely gotten any news over the last almost 2 years, except for recently this year getting 2 new trailers. On one of those trailers, they had stated at Tokyo Game Show that there was going to be a closed beta test sometime in the second half of 2022. But again, Square Enix went radio silent. As we got closer to the end of the year, we got the last trailer of Ever Crisis, and Square Enix added A beta will be available summer 2023, pretty much telling us that the game had been delayed to 2023. With only the beta coming out in summer, I am honestly optimistic if it will even come out before the end of the year. It worries me a little, especially with all this talk from the CEO of Square Enix pushing big for blockchain games this year. I really hope this isn't them delaying it so that they can turn this into a blockchain game instead of a turn-based gacha game. I highly doubt it, but regardless of all of this, I'm very excited for this game, mainly because of my love for Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy as a whole. Final Fantasy VII is the game that got me into JRPGs and into content creation as a whole, and the first game I streamed and made content on in this channel. Let's pray it stays on schedule for release in 2023. Up next, we have Takt Op Destiny, another game that has been delayed into oblivion and pretty much radio silent. This game was supposed to release immediately after the end of the anime of December 21st, 2021, but it had some issues that needed to be resolved, so it ended up being delayed to 2022. Still, to this day, we have heard nothing of its release date, only that it had been delayed again on a recent live stream during Tokyo Game Show to 2023, where they showed a bit more of the game's gameplay and characters. The reason it was supposed to release immediately after the anime ended is because it is a direct sequel to the anime, and it is actually canon to the anime's story. Fans of the anime, including myself, have been dying to play this game to get more lore on it because of how great the anime actually was. Takt Op is a mixed media project about classical music produced by Bandai Namco Arts and Dina. The game takes place in the year of 2047, a futuristic world where music cannot be played freely because it attracts monsters called D2s. Combat the D2s, the Symphonica International Organization, and the music arts combine their powers to defend the cities from this catastrophe. Again, there is no official release date yet, but they are aiming for a release in 2023. This is honestly probably my most anticipated gacha game of this year, hands down. Not only is it Black Clover, but it's also a turn-based RPG with amazing graphics that honestly rivals some PS4 anime games. The gameplay is very similar to Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross. The reason for that is because the head developer of Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross left Netmarble and decided to make his own gaming studio and wanted to make a better Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross. This IP is one of my favorite pieces of fiction that is currently out right now. I love the anime and I keep up with the manga, and I've got to say it's probably one of the best shonens of this generation. And I'm not alone in this. Many people feel this way, and it's one of the reasons why this game will do very well. I got to play the very recent closed beta test for Black Clover Mobile, and I have to say, even if this mobile game had nothing to do with Black Clover and was an original IP, I would still play the hell out of it. The gameplay is super fun, and the animations and graphics are so good that it's honestly still hard to believe that this is a mobile game. Black Clover Mobile features 3D graphics with an open world to explore, on top of boss battles to challenge yourself with. It's also a gacha game at heart with a mountain of characters to try and unlock and add to your roster. The development team has been very vocal and updating the community, and based on some insider knowledge, I can safely say expect to play this game very soon. Most likely the first half of 2023. My speculation is that it's going to have a spring release. Next up, we have Brown Dust 2, which is a game very heavily inspired by classic old-school JRPGs like Chrono Trigger or Suikoden. I've had the pleasure of being in close contact with the developers of this game, and I'm very much looking forward to playing this and making content on it. As you know, I'm a huge JRPG fan, and this is right up my alley. I'll be able to stream and show gameplay for this game within the next couple of weeks, so make sure that you're subscribed with notifications on if you're looking for more news on this game, as I will be one of the very few content creators that are allowed to share footage and play the game live for you on stream. Early access streams will be starting around January 10th. So look for more news for an official concrete release date around that time, but as of right now, they are aiming for a 2023 release. Next up, we have Solo Leveling. This right here is peak fiction, one of the greatest manhwas I have ever read, and it has an anime coming out this year that is going to be animated by A1 Pictures, the same studio that has done a few of the Fate anime arcs and also Sword Art Online. So we know that the animation is going to be absolutely amazing. But with the announcement of the game, you can experience the entire story while playing it on your mobile device and also a PC client as well. I have seen a lot of footage for this game at Tokyo Game Show and other live streams, and it honestly looks incredible for a mobile game. It's honestly hard to believe that a game that looks this good with animations and combat this great is going to be available on your mobile devices. The best way I can explain the combat is that it plays very similar to Devil May Cry combat, but on a mobile device. I'm very much looking forward to playing this game when it comes out. No official release date so far, but during Tokyo Game Show livestream, they stated that they're aiming for a 2023 release date. Last up on this list, we have Girls Frontline 2, Exilium. I remember seeing footage for this game almost 2 years ago, and I was instantly hooked. It's a tactical strategy turn-based RPG, and it plays just like XCOM. Girls Frontline 2 Exilium is an upcoming game from Sunborn using tactical two-dimensional gameplay with 3D graphics using physically based rendering and non-photorealistic rendering as well. It received a first closed beta test on June 29th, 2021, and a second beta test on October 18th, 2021. It's also had a few more betas in 2022 as well. It takes place in Eastern Europe in the year 2074, 12 years after the start of the original Girls Frontline. Despite being a sequel, Girls Frontline 2 is due to run alongside Girls Frontline rather than replace it. And since I'm a TapTap partner, I will be getting a lot of info on this game and access to more betas in the future, so look out for more content on this game in the very near future. No official release date yet, but I will keep you all posted. As of right now, they're aiming for a 2023 release date. And that concludes my list of the best gacha games coming in 2023. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this list of games, if you're going to be playing any of these, if you're excited for any of these, or if there's a gacha game that I didn't put on this list that you guys are also looking forward to, feel free to leave a comment down below for that as well. This is our first uploaded video of 2023, so I want you guys to smash that like button if you guys did enjoy this video. It'll help me out in the algorithm a lot, and we're aiming for new heights this year in 2023. We hit 10K subs this year on last year on YouTube, and this year we're aiming for 25K. So please help me get to that goal by hitting that subscribe button, ringing the notification bell to be notified for future notifications for videos, guides, reactions, all that kind of stuff, especially if you're looking forward to a lot of gacha games or JRPGs this year. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys on the next video.